Love that sweet music.
Sweet.
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
What's going on, boys?
Welcome to Torn Between Two Brothers, where we discuss things that are new to us, new to the world.
Disgusting.
We discuss things that are disgusting.
This just in is disgusting.
Oh, gross.
Do you know Eminem was one of those people that I always found to like misinterpret their lines, and he had one where he goes, to all the real Slim Shadys are just imitating, but I thought he was saying Justin Montani, and I was like,
Montani.
just because I heard Justin, I go, ooh, that's my name.
That's my name.
So I was
Eminem's talking
I was
to
like,
me.
Justin Montani, and I was like, I don't know who that is. It might be a quarterback or something. They're just Justin Montani, and I was like, ooh.
There's so many songs
and then
from
I
back
figured
in the
I
day
was
that
just
I like
imitating.
when I finally figure out the lyrics online.
Yeah.
And like, gross. I did not have that correct whatsoever.
Not what I expected.
Oh no.
Speaking of Eminem, he dropped a surprise album.
Yes, he
Friday.
did. What's it? It's music to be murdered to.
Murdered by.
Murdered by.
Yeah,
Oh Jesus.
yeah. I
Okay,
prefer to
okay.
be murdered by than murdered to. So it's funny because I think everyone was like amping up for Friday because Mac Miller's new album was dropping.
Yep.
So everyone was stoked to like listen
And
to
then
new Mac
Eminem's
Miller.
dumbass has to go out there and
dumbass, he
and
knows,
drop
he
his
knows.
album. Nah,
He knows.
dude, I
He
hate
knows
that
to
shit.
just pop in. I know it's kind of bullshit that you kind of like took the reign, but at the same time, it was dope because I think a lot of people that were like just Mac Miller fans are also hip hop fans. Like
Yeah.
at its core, like what he was originally doing, mostly more hip hop than his jazz numbers or
his jazz
more,
numbers.
It's more like
that sweet saxophone
soul,
of Mac
R&B
Miller, yeah.
and everything. So so everyone that was kind of amped for Mac Miller was stoked to hear that Eminem project had dropped.
Yep.
And I was
Everyone
too.
but me.
Well, yeah. Yeah,
Everyone's
I know.
like, oh my God, Eminem album dropped. You listen to it? I'm like, no.
Nope.
And then I had to, obviously, because, we talk about these things.
And I was okay. Every time Eminem drops an album,
Yep.
I'm stoked and not stoked. Like
You're-
I'm like excited, but I know I'm gonna be let down.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Especially with his last album. I can't even think of the name, Kamikaze.
Okay.
Okay, well, I personally hated Kamikaze myself. I wasn't a huge fan. And I'm also not a huge fan of, is it Royce the 5'9"?
Yeah.
And I feel like every Eminem project is like a collab with Royce the
Royce,
5'9".
they already did their collab album, and
Mhm.
it was I forget what it was called, but I did not enjoy
That's
it
why we
because
have a
of that
comment
reason.
section.
Yeah,
Someone comment the
someone-
Royce and Eminem album.
It's like bad meets evil.
Oh, okay,
So,
yeah,
and I
you're
didn't
right.
care for it just because Royce, he's good, he's lyrical, but that's it.
That's
and
it.
sometimes
Yeah.
lyrical can only take you so far, and I think that's the best way to present Eminem's new album is being
Yes.
lyrical and being fast only gets you so far. I know we have differing opinions of this
Yeah.
album.
I've been
I know,
fighting people about this album.
I know Godzilla was a banger. Maybe not to you, but it's one of the better songs on the album.
Yeah.
Juice WRLD, the late Juice WRLD was on it. I saw actually some people stipulating that, like, for instance, when Lil Wayne got XXX on his songs, he didn't know who XXX was until he passed
hadn't
away.
heard about him until he passed away. Yeah.
With Eminem,
Was that the same thing with Juice WRLD?
No,
No,
Eminem
okay.
like reached out to Juice WRLD and they were in the studio, and someone actually posted afterwards a picture of them in like just recorded the hook for Eminem song, so they were stoked.
Correct, yeah.
So that was an ongoing thing for a while before Juice WRLD passed away.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get into the later where it's funny.
I know, I'm
that
trying not
Eminem,
to speak over you because I have so many things to say, but I want you to be able
fine.
to get through, you know?
I think on Eminem's Kamikaze and even before that, he's been talking shit about the new school of rappers, and it was funny to
Correct.
see a lot of new age artists like on this project. And Juice
'Cause
WRLD,
he's hypocritical.
yeah,
He's
so
a fucking hypocrite.
He's a hypocrite. It was he. So he had Juice WRLD on. It was really good. And then the last 40 seconds, he does like super, super fast. And he actually broke the record he did on Rap God for the most words rapped.
Oh, no way, huh?
Like within, I don't know, 30 seconds,
Certain-
60 seconds,
yeah.
or whatever it is.
Certain amount of time.
But that's about it on that song. Like it's catchy. It's got a
See, I didn't even think it was catchy. And here's the thing, and
Not
we're gonna talk about it again
Juice
because
WRLD's part was catchy. Is what
yes,
I'm saying.
Juice WRLD's part was
like
catchy. But the thing is that if I know Juice WRLD was probably stoked that he's making a song with Eminem, and Eminem's gonna release it, and everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, I can't believe that Juice WRLD did a song with Eminem.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and especially to do it to release the album, and it's technically now a post-mortem song.
Yeah,
technically speaking, you know what I mean?
Chorus, yeah.
Post-mortem chorus, yeah, exactly. But he gave Juice WRLD like 30 seconds, and then that was it.
You just want it from a hook.
It's like a 5-minute. It's like a 5-minute fucking song, and Juice WRLD's got this little bit in.
Brandon,
you can't even.
Do you know what rap songs are?
No,
it's a chorus and 3 verses.
Correct.
The person doing the chorus doesn't have to do a verse.
Exactly. No, I understand that. I'm not mad that he didn't do a verse, but at least give him like a second chorus in between the 3 verses.
Like a bridge or something.
Or a bridge or something.
Yeah,
utilize Juice WRLD because Juice WRLD's one of those hidden talents, like the gems in the music industry. You know what I mean? Not now anymore, but obviously when he was alive, he was a gem, and his music's going to live on forever. So might as well give him the benefit of the doubt, especially that you're releasing the song after. You can't be like, go to my producer and say, hey, do you mind fitting in that chorus a second time because I want to give him more of a spotlight because he's on my album, but he's passed away.
I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
you get
they're working with what
you know. I'm changing your mind.
They already made the song. Like, there's no way.
I know,
okay, you got to think if an album released just last week.
Yep.
There's so much work going into it. Granted, like some artists make last minute changes, but then it delays the album, and then I don't know. I don't care. Darkness was a song that sparked a bunch of outrage because it made a line. No. Sorry. Unaccommodating sparked
With
a lot of outrage
Young Ma.
with Young Ma.
Yep.
Young Ma, trash.
Young Ma was trash on it.
Get off an Eminem song, please.
It was just, it wasn't the right beat for it. It wasn't the right beat.
You're a New York rapper. Rap on New York bangers. I love your music. You have such good songs. I don't know why she was put on there to be toe to toe. Like
I have no idea.
And it looked like she was trying. And if you're gonna be
it did seem like she was trying.
Well, no, but I mean, like it to her standards. So on a New York banger, she's just like doing her thing. She's talking about
vibing on it, whatever.
She's got dildos in her closet. She's whipping them out. She's ready to go. But like on Eminem's album, it's like, oh, let me be super lyrical. It's like chill.
Yeah.
And then
I'm surprised someone as underground. Well, not that she's underground, but someone to that like not low of a standard because she's great. You know what I mean?
But doesn't have the same longevity.
Exactly. Yeah. And you're inviting her onto the Eminem album. I don't know.
So Eminem talks about the shooting at Ariana Grande's concert.
The bombing at
Ariana Grande's concert. And then he releases a song called Darkness, which kind of sounds like it samples Hello Darkness, my old friend.
Oh, did it? I didn't catch that.
It kind of like has that like underneath, but I think it's a little bit different. And that's about shooters at Vegas and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's doing... I don't know.
Too much?
I don't know.
Too much. All right. I'm going to say this now, and I've said it again. I've said it in a different podcast. I'm not going to say what you think I'm going to say.
I know what
The
you're
Family
saying.
Guy,
Yeah,
Eminem, because I said that in episode 2. My thing is that Eminem is a fucking clout chaser that doesn't need to chase clout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's so true.
Is there any better way to like put it? Because he
no
wants
need-
people
there's
to
no-
do fucking write about it and be like, oh my god, look at like the outrage because Eminem spoke about the fucking Las Vegas shooting and then the Ariana Grande concert.
Yeah.
Like, is he gonna talk about Iran next? You know what I mean?
There's
like,
no need. Well, I get it, but not a whole fucking song.
No.
The Ariana Grande thing. People fucking calm down. Eminem's been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Who cares? Who cares? He's going to talk about whatever he wants to talk about. You do the same thing with comedians. You freak out on them for talking about something too soon. Shut up. Who cares? It's art.
Yeah.
Let him speak. If it's too soon, well, then...
And I was fine with that one lyric.
I didn't
but
care.
to go into a whole fucking song
from the perspective of a shooter.
Dude, come on. And if you're going to do it, don't use it from the Las Vegas thing. Like, do it on your own merit and create a world. Like, create a world around your song. You know what I mean? Because when you're using those familiar standpoints, then people start to get pissed, which is what he wants.
Yeah.
He wants people to be mad by it.
But
then that's his clout chasing, and it sucked.
And then and then the music video. And it's funny because one of the guys I know who's the videographer for Joyner Lucas, he talked about how Eminem is kind of pulling inspiration from Joyner Lucas's like first person point of view for the music video
yep.
he did, because he did it from the point of view of the shooter. So it's just funny to it's just aggravating. Like I didn't care for that song. It bothers me. I don't. It's he's great at storytelling, but like he's ran out of stories to tell.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear your stories anymore. But Ed Sheeran, stop being on Eminem songs. Eminem was on Ed Sheeran's album.
Ed Sheeran needs to get the fuck out of every song.
I do not want Ed Sheeran anymore.
Dude, we have a Pandora account at the house. Just a little side note. So we have a Pandora account. Joanna has it. It's hooked up to the TV. And I swear to you that every Ed Sheeran song that has come on, she's pressed the like button, because we'll be having like, it's like only fucking Ed Sheeran, and I can't stand it. I hate him. Yeah. So I said it the other day, and she goes, well, you can dislike it if you want, so it doesn't come up anymore. But yeah, Ed Sheeran needs to get the fuck off of every song, so I'm good.
Eminem,
I'm good.
He's been on like Eminem's Revival album. Eminem was on Ed Sheeran's album. Ed Sheeran is now on this album. Get out of there. Get out of that atmosphere. I don't like the way you... Unless he rapped, because he released like songs where he was rapping with Yellow Wolf and stuff like that.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah,
that would have been cool. And then like show yourself and impress everyone, and that will get more like. But granted, I don't know why I'm talking, because right now the top 3 played song on Spotify for Eminem is the one with Ed Sheeran.
Of course
what
it
the
is.
Fuck? Anderson .Paak song. Great. Love that song. He had a song with Don Toliver, who's a more new age guy.
Like I did too much. Love that song. Yeah, that song.
Pretty good. Q-Tip is on it. Classic. He's a artist from back in the day.
I love Q-Tip. It's like music to my ears.
Q-Tip was You're such an asshole.
Sorry.
I am so pissed you said that. Black Thought from the Roots was on it too.
Okay.
Good.
Yep.
But I'm going to say right now, okay, Eminem. He has a song called Stepdad. Stepdad. Talking about his stepdad when he it's been 40 years since you've had since your stepdad beat you.
Jesus.
How old do you gotta be to stop making songs about your stepdad? It's literally all right.
Yeah, but okay.
No,
No, you're not even gonna give him the benefit of the doubt that it was a traumatic experience for him, and now he has to live with it 40 years.
10 albums.
I guess so. If you're gonna
okay, are you gonna be 50 years old making a song about your stepdad from 40 years ago?
I might if I had a stepdad.
But it would.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's still not
No,
good,
I know,
and it's
I
not
know,
a story.
I
It's not perspective. It's nothing. It's
Yep.
bad. Marsh. I'm out this world. He does this weird auto-tune shit. Stop doing that. Little Engine. It sounds just as stupid and played out as you think. He's doing all these chorus. Lily, every
Little
song
Engine was with that sound bite at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
The Jamaican starting sound bite.
No. That's another one that pisses me off.
Oh
too.
yeah, that was awful. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing.
There's so many songs. The songs I like on this album, he doesn't do the chorus. Stick to that.
Yeah.
He does these. It's because engineering has gotten to a point where he could do whatever he wants. I liked it when it was more raw. He was doing Haley's song and a bunch of other stuff where him not being able to sing
or something
great.
Like Stan.
Yeah.
Stan's a perfect Eminem song that when people ask, I feel like if no one heard Eminem, you'd be like, listen to Stan. You'll enjoy it. You know what I mean? But yeah, he doesn't do the chorus on that one either, but he needs to stop making his own choruses.
Because Haley's song, Superman, you could tell he's not trying to be a good singer.
Exactly.
So you're like, okay, this is good. This time it's let me...
Or cleaning out my closet's another perfect example of that.
Let me tweak your vocals to make them clean, make them good, make them sound a little bit auto-tuned so that way you're back on pitch.
That's what's ruining him.
And that's what's ruining all these songs.
Gotcha.
I know you didn't like Kamikaze. I enjoyed it. Let's get Eminem watch this podcast. Kamikaze. I enjoyed it because it had some roots from his earlier stuff.
But that's what they say. All right, you want the perfect analogy right now? I know I come up with the perfect analogy every podcast. Eminem is Call of Duty. Because every Eminem album that releases, everyone says it's it's like from Eminem back in the day. And that's what people say about Call of Duty. They're like, oh my God, it's like fucking Modern Warfare. Oh my God, it's like, Black Ops 1. And it increasingly just gets worse.
But that's true.
Does that make sense?
But there are some songs where you're like, oh yes, the song with Joyner Lucas was such a good song. The vibe, and it was a little bit more new age, and Joyner brought his element to it. Good. The intro, there were so many things. But then you go, all right, when's the last time you put out a good album? Revival, stop. Marshall Mathers 2 had a couple songs.
No.
Stop. Recovery, stop.
Yep.
Relapse, stop. Like Encore was like
Encore is probably the last album that I think I enjoyed by Eminem. Actually,
there was bad songs on it, but they were good.
Yeah,
like he had this fag, where he talks about a gerbil eating out his butthole.
Yeah,
it was still good.
But it was still good. Yeah.
But
that's the Eminem I like too.
Yeah.
Like the Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers was it LP as well. And Encore,
Eminem
I think, are the
Show.
only. Eminem Show is another good one. Those are probably the 4 projects that I like by him.
Yeah.
And then all this new age shit by Eminem, I don't know what it is, but it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
It's because he's too wordy. He's too wordy. Like the thing about good music is you can say a lot with little.
Correct.
You can evoke a lot of emotions with a little. Like you don't have to tell the everything.
Unless you classify yourself like that as a rapper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lyricist, like an embedded lyricist
well,
that might go underappreciated. But
Stan was very like it built a whole world. You got pulled
absolutely.
into it, and it was really good. And then there were some songs like that. He didn't have to say much, but you understood what he was saying and you felt it. Now it's like he's doing like all these metaphors and he's doing like, it's like an eyeball the way my lines be cornier and then cornea, and I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, dude, shut
up.
the fuck up. Oh, dude,
don't say that. It's like when
way.
you listen to battle raps and they're still using the same metaphors from like
20
years ago that are still like, it's like, oh, you really just said a bar like, ugh.
It's like freestyle rap. It's like he freestyle raps and he's like, yeah, this is a good punchline.
And
good punchline.
Like, let me fill in 20 words before it so it sounds like a whole like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here's a little clout chasing line. So I don't know, Eminem. I think if we do a review from the songs that I heard, I would say it's like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, accurate.
So speaking of people that do not like Donald Trump, Eminem. That was my segue.
Oh, Eminem.
Stop being political.
Be political, but don't be political. He had a song with Mosh that was against George Bush, but it felt so good. The fucking acapella.
The
bullshit
acapella with Donald
Trump.
Trump. Get the fuck
Shut
out of
up.
here. Stay in your
Okay.
lane, man.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
another one. But that was my segue, and you ruined it, so I'm a little bit upset. But I don't. The presidential impeachment's going on.
Yeah.
And I think it started on Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. I'm not too sure. I don't want to get into the.
Need a shot if we're talking about politics.
Yeah, I know. Don't talk about politics. We get into politics. I don't want to specifically talk about the impeachment, but something that came to my mind that I don't know. I think I'm a fucking idiot for this.
It's okay.
And this is what I'm going to tell you. And I wrote it down, and I wanted to start off with it because I'm an idiot. So I'm listening.
Can I guess?
Sure.
Impeaching doesn't mean we get rid of the president?
No,
Okay.
I knew that. I know how the impeachment process works.
Okay.
Senate, House, whatever. But no, I understand the process. It's even worse than that, actually. I think I want to say it's worse.
Okay.
So I listen to NPR radio. For those of you that don't know, I mention it all the time. I love NPR.
Yeah.
And they were talking about the presidential impeachment before it had started, and they were saying that, because there's certain Democratic nominees that have to go there for the impeachment process.
Okay.
And they were like, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, they're all going to that impeachment process. And apparently, I'll tell you what it is that I'm an idiot first, because the Senate, right? They're part of the Senate.
Yeah.
What is the Senate made of? Senators.
Yeah.
I didn't even fucking realize, bro. And I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm like, how much of an idiot I can be? I'm like, why does he have to go? Oh, Bernie Sanders, he's the fucking senator of, Vermont.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't put 2 and 2 together, and I don't know why. And it got me so mad. I was like, why does he have to go? And I'm like, oh my God, the Senate's made up of, the senators from around the freaking states. So I'm an idiot, first of all. But something interesting that I heard about it.
All right, can I be more of an idiot?
Yeah.
So the Senate has 1 senator from each state.
Something along the lines.
Congress has 2 representatives from each state. Is that how it goes?
The House has representatives. So Congress is made up of the Senate and the House. The House has
the House of Representatives has like 2 representatives.
Correct. And I think the Senate has either 1, possibly 2 senators, something like that. I don't know.
We're still not politics.
Yeah. This is what happens when I bring up sports and politics, and then I don't know what I'm talking about. And clearly you guys probably understand. But so the interesting thing was, they were talking about on NPR that the senators, or the people that are in the Senate, the ones that are running for the presidency, have to stop campaigning almost entirely to be able to go to this impeachment.
Oh, shit.
So they have to cut funds and stop funding to be able to spend time. And they were saying for Elizabeth Warren, she might be dropping out of the race because now she's like, I think the third Democratic nominee or something like that, like out of the top 3 or something.
But
and
she plays
she's going
a big
to have
part
to
in the impeachment? Is that why?
Well, she's a senator,
Oh.
so she's part of the Senate.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
she has
just-
to go in. So there's like people
But I
fighting
didn't know
for
if it was
Iowa,
like there's some
shit
people
like
that
that.
are like actually doing stuff. At
Yeah,
the
they have to
impeachment.
be.
Yeah.
They have to be there.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so they're technically the
You ever
jury.
think like everything's planned? like
It's
like
weird,
a weird
dude, yeah.
coincidence how everything just lines up.
Yeah.
Like
So Elizabeth Warren had to cut funding, which means that it might be the end of her Democratic race. And
Yeah.
then I think Bernie Sanders, he today got released that he was the top Democratic nominee, and he's actually has more support than Trump. I think that was the latest poll.
Okay.
So just today that happened. But I find it weird because it was saying that
does
they
he have
can
to give up his seat?
What do you mean?
Is he gonna like?
No, he doesn't have to give up anything. It's just like some people get lost in the race because they have to be there.
Okay.
So they can't be funding and going out and visiting different places like a presidential candidate
sucked
would
into the
because they're
impeachment.
sucked into the
Okay,
impeachment.
gotcha.
So I thought it was kind of weird. And I'm like, oh, there's people like Joe Biden and Peter Buttigieg, I don't know how to say his name, that aren't part of it that can keep planning their route. You know what I mean?
Funny that like anyone that's listening, because I do like clips with our YouTube videos, and like if I do this about politics, they're gonna listen to the first like 30 seconds, and you're like, Senate, senators,
and then click.
unreliable source.
So yeah, the funny thing, and like I said, I I don't want to talk about which way we swing and stuff like that in terms of the presidency, but I just find it weird how much time they have to, or how much time is consumed when something like an impeachment hearing happens. So apparently they have to be there, like all the time whenever they're doing like 13-hour days over there, and then they can receive up to 6 phone calls that they have to take. They have to be talking to people about the impeachment hearing.
No way.
So so it takes up like so much time. So I think it was like, I might be wrong. No one, I mean, you can make fun of me for it. I don't really care. So it's like 6 times a day, but you have to be there maybe 6 days out of the week or however long it is. So say it's a 7-day impeachment hearing span. They have to be there for the 7 days, 13-hour days. I mean, they go long into it. And I find it so odd. Isn't that weird? Like I guess you don't think about those things when you're looking into politics. You know what I mean?
I think, like I said, it's weird how things line up because it's like, if you think about it from like a business and marketing standpoint,
Sure.
who Trump is,
Mm-hmm.
the perfect way to like kind of trip your opponents as they're going is to almost be in an impeachment scandal and have everyone distracted and working
literally.
on that and being there 7 days a week or for the entirety of the impeachment and get kind of divert your energy into multiple things because with like you have to be there, you have to shake hands and kiss babies, but like it's like, all right, well now you're stuck doing this, and it's like
exactly. And then I figured, I guess if they
say
get
the same
sucked
thing.
into
I
that to the
don't want to
impeachment
go into
hearing,
conspiracy theories, but they also say like the bombing in Iran was just a nice coincidence around the timing of the impeachment, and like this happened because it's around the time of the impeachment. It's because you watch conspiracies and you watch all these shows and stuff like that, and you're like, there's got to be a plot twist. There's got to be some underlying like main plot that's like happening underneath, and it's just, I don't know.
It's weird the way things span out, but it shows me how little I fucking know about politics. So there you go.
They say what do they say? Life is stranger than fiction.
Yes.
So, and I think with coincidences that happens all the time. You're just like, oh, that's weird that all these things lined up. Not trying to instigate anything. Not trying to say, I'm not saying who I'm voting for or anything.
No.
But it's just a weird coincidence.
Justin, the conspiracy theorist over here. The worst.
I don't even know what I want to get into next.
You didn't have a segue?
I had no segue.
I feel like
I walked today. I don't have a segue.
Oh, God.
Speaking of United States and presidents, the U.S. Space Force. I don't know if you saw this.
Is that still a thing? The Space Force?
Yeah, the Space Force is a real thing.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
I know it's a real thing. I just didn't know if it was still like relevant and people were talking about
like
it.
People aren't going to space anymore.
Movements on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, they're not going to space anymore. They got their uniforms. And do you know what they look like?
No, I want to know though.
They look like brown and white and tan camouflage. Now, if you think about it, outer space, if you're wearing camouflage, you're not really camouflage.
You're camouflaged to like Mars and like the land, but in terms of
there's
it
no
being
trees
just
in space.
there's no trees.
Is what I'm trying to say. There's literally no trees. It's literally like they should have just had black uniforms with like white specks
with white
everywhere.
Specks on it. Yeah, that would camouflage you better than
it's brown, beige, and like weird colors. I wish I should have popped a picture.
If the government's listening to the podcast, there are no trees in outer space.
Yeah. So their argument or like discussion or comment on it, because people are like, you guys are idiots. They're like, well, we are utilizing current Army and Air Force uniforms and saving costs. So it's literally them being cheap and repurposing Army uniforms and going, here's a nice little sticker, or what is it called?
A patch.
A patch, yeah. That says
Space Force.
Space Force, but it's still like the same. Like, think of the brown tan.
For how much
Army.
money that the U.S. spends on the military,
For how much
I don't
money
think they've ever been
out of my taxes, boy.
No, well, I don't want to get into it that way. Yeah, but I mean, for how much money, you know what I mean, that the U.S. diverts or puts into the military. You think if Space Force was an upcoming thing and it's new
Space
and
Force
it's relevant,
is probably the bottom.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
probably
true.
Under Navy or Air Force. I don't know how it goes. Is it like Army, Marines?
I don't know.
Navy, Air Force.
That's another thing that I have no idea is military. And I mean, we salute you, but I don't know what you do. But I don't know what's going on.
What are you actually doing? I'm kidding.
Oh my God. That's the clip that everyone's going to be like.
They're going to be like, oh,
they're Canadians. That makes sense. Exit out.
But yeah, they're saving costs from designing and producing a new one.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk to you real quick. I don't know if I spoke to you about it before.
Yeah.
There's this ever-growing space debris
mm-hmm.
that's orbiting around outer space. So the thing that happens with gravity.
Is that where the space debris? I was gonna make fun of you, and now I can't.
There's a gravitational force that kind of like
pulls all the debris,
pulls everything, and then that's why we can send satellites, and it kind of rotates around the planet.
Yep.
So the thing about that is debris.
Mm-hmm.
Like, say we send a satellite and a screw becomes unloose.
Sure.
That screw
floats around.
Floats
in
around.
Orbit. Yeah.
We have so much junk in our atmosphere around
mm-hmm.
our planet that it literally looks like a bunch of bees swerving around a beehive.
So I can't be safe. I can't be safe anywhere then, huh? So I can't be safe here. I go to outer space. There's things that look like bees.
Just bees.
Yeah.
So they're saying like if we keep up with how much debris we're putting into our like gravitational orbit or whatever.
Sure.
I probably am saying all these technical terms incorrectly or factually wrong.
Torn between two brothers where we don't know what we're talking about.
But we talk about it. Like eventually there'll be a point where like you have a spacesuit or a ship or whatever, and you're gonna be hit by debris.
No way, huh?
There's like it's just gonna be.
Why are we putting stuff into
putting
stuff into the space? Why don't we just put it into the ocean like everything else?
Well, it's not intentional. It's just stuff.
No,
like, say like a satellite
goes
goes out of order or like collides with something, then all of a sudden you have all those mess of pieces,
mm-hmm.
and then it just stays there. We don't have like a
we
vacuum.
Just need
like
we just need a giant space vacuum to be able to collect the debris, and we'll be fine.
It'll
probably come with time. Space vacuum. If it happens before I die, I called it.
What do you feel about aliens?
Aliens?
Yeah.
How do I feel about aliens?
Yeah. Is there aliens?
This is a loaded question to put on me. All right.
Is there other life than yourself? Do you have hope?
I believe that there's probably other life. I don't think we might ever see it.
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely possible. Like I'm 100% sure of like different life in terms of like what we used to be back in the day, little cells and stuff like that are around. Whether they manifest and make aliens or whether they just stay there, I'm not too sure. So I would say yes, there is other life than us. Do I believe in aliens and that they'll come in our lifetime? Probably not.
It's because you got to think of the grand scheme. As big as the galaxy is with finding aliens, that's almost as big as how time is and the time differences in the light years and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So the chances of all that happening in this infinite universe, infinite time span, it's virtually almost impossible.
I'm smirking because I was just thinking about that game that you could explore the planets. I don't know. Someone posted it. Either way, when they first released it, they had said it is virtually impossible to find another person in this video game. But it turned out that they never had multiplayer in the game.
Well, they put two people were on the same world
somehow,
and then they
because of the
saw
algorithm.
the exact same thing, and then they couldn't see each other, and it's because they never programmed it.
They never programmed it because they didn't think it was going to happen.
But you got to think that's literally
how
what this would be.
Yeah.
Because if aliens would come here, it doesn't mean we can see them in our 3D space and our limitations in our eyes.
Nope.
And it doesn't mean they can even see us. We could be living with aliens right now.
Literally.
For all we know.
Ew, that would be so gross. Like two almost alternative dimensions that are colliding, but you can't see any of it.
It would be gross.
That would be gross.
And then you just
parallel universes. It's an actual thing.
You're
so.
accidentally giving aliens hand jobs all the time. Every time
rather than yourself or what? You're brushing your teeth and it's actually an alien dick.
Yeah. You're popping a cork. You're like, oh god.
Oh, I need to put more salt on my dish. Alien cock.
Have you ever had have you ever looked in the sky or the stars and you're like,
that looks like a UFO?
Yeah.
No.
We'll leave it as that.
Speaking of things that are just fucking weird, and that's the best segue I got. A TikTok trend that just started, and I personally fucking died. For those of you that don't have TikTok on your phone, don't download it because you'll get sucked into the massive TikTok void and be gone for 3 hours. Like, it makes me not get out of bed.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about TikTok
it's like
numerous
Instagram
amount
and
of times on
Facebook
here.
and Snapchat and Vine back in the day.
It's
everything.
worse.
Yeah.
I would say TikTok is worse in terms of it.
It's so good.
So there's a new trend.
It's so good and bad. It's like Twitter 9gag in video form. It's so good.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
And then there's teenage girls dancing,
which we found out in episode 1 that you like.
Yeah,
and
yeah. That's my preference.
Oh, okay.
So my
you're reverting back
because
to that.
the algorithms are really good. So if you keep liking a bunch of 13-year-olds, you'll get more 13-year-olds.
You see her knock on the door upstairs.
Chris Hansen.
What?
Chris Hansen.
Oh, Chris Hansen.
Oh,
I was
please
gonna
have
say
a seat.
The police, open up. So there's a new TikTok trend that you can taste with your scrotum, your ball sack.
Yeah.
Yes, and it started off with someone finding out that
Are we
had...
testing this live?
No, we're not going to test it live.
Did you bring something so we could test things with our scrotum?
So it started off with someone finding out that scrotums have taste receptors, taste buds.
Yeah.
And so, but it could only apparently this was what they saw or found out that it could only taste
TikTokers.
TikTokers,
okay.
yeah, just one random kid that dipped his balls.
I didn't know if you looked into scientific research behind.
I did.
Oh, okay.
I did.
Right.
I will have that for you momentarily. So they were dipping their balls into soy sauce. Some took it so far that they said they could taste it. They were dipping their scrotum into salt, into different beverages. There was actually a soundbite that said, "I'm gonna dip my balls into some Thousand Island dressing."
I love that song.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
Because I got depression.
Yes.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
So people were, fucking around with it and taking it and running with it just like TikTok trends do. And so someone actually reached out to a doctor, someone with their doctorate, a
doctor.
a medicinal being. Yeah, the MD.
Hey, some guy with a last name with the MD after it.
They reached out to someone and said, "Hey, is this real? Can we taste things with our nuts?" Because so many people were saying, and I don't know if people were doing it for the trend or if people were actually believing it. You know what I mean? So the doctor said, no. The taste receptors in your scrotum is for fertility reasons and nothing else. You actually can't taste anything. I have here any weird things that you've done? You ever dipped your balls in a Thousand Island dressing?
Once.
Once.
And I tasted a salad in my mouth.
What?
Wait, so what does that mean? You have taste buds for fertility reasons?
I'm not sure. It was just it was short and sweet. So you have
short and sweet, like what you would taste if you dipped your balls
in soy sauce.
In soy sauce.
No, so basically it's for fertility reasons. Like the scrotum just needs the taste receptors. Like they're just there, put on us for evolution and fertility reasons.
That'd be crazy.
Evolution.
You ever think about that? Like licking ice cream with your nuts? Like imagine if life, we weren't licking with our mouth, we were licking with our nuts. Like, would that be weird? Would that be weird to be
yeah,
like?
I think so. It's like, dude, some people make those drawings and it's like, oh, what if we ate with our assholes and they're just, munching and shit like that. Like,
yeah,
I'm
lasagna.
Good, man.
Imagine lasagna.
I am
with
happy
your,
the way my
spaghetti
body
with
is.
your asshole.
Just.
And then you
throw it up in the toilet after.
But like you know, the mouth your mouth already looks like a butthole when you finish spaghetti. You're like, you have a noodle and you're like, and then like you have the butthole mouth already with your butthole. There's no need. Yeah. It's already in butthole formation.
It's already prepped in butthole formation.
Speaking of buttholes,
no, I hope not.
Full House.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch that show?
I did as a kid. I remember watching it a lot, but not because I liked it, just because it was on ABC Family, and it was like always after Boy Meets World.
Nick at Night.
And Nick
all
at
that
Night.
Stuff,
It was always on George Lopez, Boy Meets World, and Full House for some reason. I personally never saw the hype in it.
Yeah.
Even when Fuller House came out, I was like, I don't fucking care.
I tried watching it.
Was it good?
It's Full House.
Is it the Girl Meets World equivalent of Boy Meets World?
Yeah, it's the exact same.
Yeah.
Did you know that Danny Tanner was not supposed to be played by Bob Saget?
No way, huh?
So Bob Saget was unavailable for the role. So they reached out to this comedian named John Posey, and he's in a lot of like shows and movies, but he's nobody. He's like a background character. I guess he was a comedian that was doing like kind of like SNL type humor.
I thought you were gonna say S&M type humor, and I was just about to start dying. S&M type humor. Yeah.
So
sure.
he. It's gross. Like,
Is it?
Like for those of you tuning in or listening in right now, watch John Posey pilot episode. They they technically put it in the first season DVD as a bonus feature, but like you can watch it like clips of it online and stuff, and you can see back to back. Bob Saget and John Posey doing it was shot exactly the same.
Yeah. And
he was making the same jokes, but it's the driest, unenthusiastic, like
father figure.
Yeah, like he was just like a weird. It's almost like you put like a. Like it's just a guy that's like not a pedophile, but like right above it,
above a pedophile.
Yeah,
a mega pedophile.
No, like below a pedophile. Sorry,
below a pedophile. That's the child.
Don't blow.
That's the child.
No, he's cringy and awkward.
Yeah,
but he's like just a bad actor,
and it doesn't work.
And then you have Bob Saget, who like kills it, and like they're performing the same lines except. Danny you know how he has like his personality like comes like
he has a good fake personality.
Yes.
Bob Saget's an asshole.
He's an asshole.
He's a fucking dickhead.
That was the segue.
The butthole.
He's a butthole.
I've heard he's an asshole in real life. I've listened to his stand up. I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah.
Like if I can quote my mom, he's just very vulgar.
Yeah.
But his fake personality, like his acting personality, especially in Full House, he was a good actor. You know what I mean?
I
couldn't tell he was a
liked
butthole.
him. But John Posey is just like, bleh.
Yeah.
Like it was.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
And they're like doing the same thing, and it's like, oh, like the John Stamos goes, oh, like he walks into his room and it's got the pink bunnies and the blue like wallpaper like originally.
Yep.
And he goes, oh, you could. I'm surprised there's no Barbie's dollhouse in the corner or whatever. And Danny and Bob Saget goes, oh, we have one. Like, and almost like the joke was like, oh yeah, we have one. Like it's like it's a room full, it's a house full of girls. Yeah, we have one.
Exactly.
And then he goes, and then John Posey's just like, yeah, we have one. And it's like it's as dry as I said it, just serious.
Yeah,
and you were just like, okay. So what happens is John Posey. So they give him the script. The guy who's doing the casting really likes him, brings him in.
Sure.
And he shoots the whole pilot. It gets picked up, I think ABC or something like that.
Yep.
They're super stoked about it. The whole concept, they really like how it's like three brothers raising the kids together. Or is it three brothers? I don't know what it is.
Well, it's two. Whoa, I don't know.
I know it's Uncle Jesse. So like it's
Uncle Jesse.
It's either the deceased wife's brother or
I
Bob
think
Saget's
that's what
brother.
it is. I think they're through marriage are related.
Yeah.
So
like they are all like, so they're like, it's three dads trying to raise kids.
Correct.
So like they like the concept. They kind of like John Posey. They originally wanted Bob Saget. He was unavailable. they told John Posey, you have the job.
Yeah.
So John Posey's packing all of his stuff in like some random state like Ohio or Idaho or something.
You know what I'm thinking of before you finish that? Is that this podcast is probably the only light John Posey will ever get in his entire lifetime. I'm listening to you say John Posey, and I'm like, man, I've never heard this name, and I'm never going to hear it after this. But go ahead. Sorry.
So he packs up all of his stuff. He's on his way to California. Like a month later. It's already been approved and everything. Contracts are all set.
Yep.
He gets beeped by a beeper because beepers were
a
around
thing back in the
70s,
80s.
80s.
Oh, 70s,
and
70s, 80s?
Yeah, I think the show was in the 80s.
No, was it?
Yeah, something like that.
Early 90s.
So he, probably late 80s, early 90s. So he gets beeped, and then he goes and he gets to the local payphone. How about that? Let's see how old we can be. He goes to like a local payphone, calls, and he goes, "What's up?" And he goes, "Oh, sorry, you're not going to be in Full House. We're going to use Bob Saget instead."
No way.
That's when the show got done. And
John Posey. Nice card flip. You kill
John
it,
Posey,
dude.
yeah. So Bob Saget was the renowned
well, he's
Danny
lucky.
Tanner.
He's lucky he got that role because that fucking probably
so
boosted
much,
his career
so
by
much money.
tenfold.
Outside of Friends, speaking of sitcoms, what's your kind of favorite like sitcom that's maybe more family oriented rather than like Friends? It's 6 friends. You know what I mean? Like while this one was like
so family oriented.
Yeah, like
sitcom.
parents and kids, like kind of sitcom.
Boy Meets World,
Boy Meets
easily.
World,
Yeah,
I
top
would've
of
said
my
the
list.
Same thing.
I don't think there's any competition.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just like I think Boy Meets World like ingrounded like some of my like I'm trying to think of the word. Like it set the foundation for how I want to be when I grow up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all the kids had manners.
Yeah.
And then you have Feeney who's like correcting all the things that you kind of do wrong, and he's everyone's mentor.
Yeah.
And I'm giving Mr. Feeney credit for me wanting to be a teacher. I ain't gonna lie.
Outside of your mom, who's in the teaching system.
Yes, outside of mom, obviously. Outside of mom and my love for English, I think Mr. Feeney comes as a like the trifecta to make me want to be a teacher because I don't know, it was just my favorite.
It was written so well, and I like.
And it wasn't in your face. You almost couldn't tell the morals of the show unless you were like looking for them. They kind of just came to you, and that's
felt
the
like,
naturalness. Of
looking
it. Like,
back, it almost like it was like Saved by the Bell, but with better like moral like
absolutely
like undertones where like you could learn from.
Yeah, because Saved by the Bell, it was kind of like. I know there's stupid humor in Boy Meets World, but I feel like Saved by the Bell was very much like stupid humor.
Yeah,
and like any of the good stuff kind of got overshadowed by that dumb humor.
Yeah.
And even you see it in Boy Meets World. I think it was a trend in sitcoms at that time. And now, even more than ever, that there's always, and Mom has always said this, so now we're mentioning Mom a lot here on the podcast, but she's mentioned it a million times that she hates the role of there's always one guy and he always has to be like the stupid funny one.
Yeah.
In Friends, it's Joey. In Boy Meets World,
I
it's
hated Eric. They
Eric.
like slowly changed his character. He was the older brother, and then he turned into the really
he
dumb
was almost
brother.
the mentor and like kind of embarrassed, but like teaching his younger brother the ways. And
like
then,
me to you kind of thing. Like embarrassed by my younger brother, and
I'm close with the dad. We're playing basketball, but
Yeah.
there's kind of a feud. There's tension in the family, and he was teaching him, and then they slowly weaned him off to be this like dumbass. Personally, because I started watching it, I already loved him at that point. But there's a lot of characters like that sitcoms have totally overdone. You know what I mean? And it bugs the shit out of me now. But before, I didn't really pay attention to it.
Yeah, and I think the love story between Corey and Topanga was one that like a lot of people grew up loving.
Oh yeah,
because
absolutely.
it's something that like there were two losers and they didn't like they were completely against each other. One was not really nerd, but he was like an outcast, and it, like and then he liked baseball while she was a geek, and then like a weirdo, and her parents
with the
were
lipstick,
weirdos.
dude. The heart, the
and then it was just like you grew up like loving that relationship, and then going, man, like I wish I have like a childhood sweetheart to grow up with and end up marrying and everything. And you always like had like there was a time like on MySpace
almost like
when
this
you were like
envious like thing when you're watching it. You're like, oh, I wish my life could have been like that. I guess in all sitcoms that's kind of you try to relate yourself to it.
But I think that one most for us because we grew up with it. We grew up with the characters.
Millions
of
times.
I remember on MySpace people would be like, I wish I could find my Topanga. I probably posted it like 3 times.
Oh yeah,
honestly.
I'm sure you did.
Like,
I ain't gonna lie. If we're talking about Boy Meets World,
instant messenger away message was
Topanga
definitely
is Lauren, the girl in the cabin that he cheats on Topanga with. I'm sorry.
What's her name? And she's in what's the old show with Seth Rogen and
Freaks and Geeks.
She's in that too.
She's in there as well. Yeah, she's in a couple movies. She's like bae, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, but Topanga's bae too.
No, I know, but when I first, I think that was like my first television crush was Lauren from Boy Meets World, and I was just like, you know, fire, fuego. What are we rounding up at? Do we have time for a spin the wheel? Or
we'll take a break.
We'll take a break. Have we been talking for a long time?
Only 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, we probably don't have anyone in here.
Everyone's just like.
So before we go on break, I wanted to tell you, our audience, our listeners, our lovers, because Joanna's watching. So make sure, because Joanna didn't subscribe, make sure while we're on break, I just did it for her. Make sure while we're on break, you exit out of the video, you go to our YouTube, which is on our podcast page, you go and subscribe. It's free for us. It helps us out. We're going to be at our first 100 subscribers. We get our own URL. Yeah. So we're really pushing towards it. We know we have 220 followers on Facebook, but we want to...
If you're watching on Facebook, like on Facebook. If you listen to us on Spotify, follow us. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, subscribe.
Exactly.
YouTube, subscribe. Do us a favor. Please help out. Do everything, and
that's the plug.
That's the plug. We got to do a plug now. You guys aren't doing enough for us. You guys are our fans. You guys are our people. But man, you are lazy. So go right now.
Go to whatever source you listen to it on.
Break. And, if you're watching on YouTube, we cut the break out. But right now, it's live.
Yep.
You get this 3 minute. Go to YouTube, subscribe. Go anywhere and follow and like, and it helps the podcast a lot to grow and
absolutely it helps us out.
Bigger.
So we'll be back in 4 minutes. 4 minutes.
3 minutes.
I gotta run then.
Bye. I'm still gonna leave this going. I'm gonna slowly come in.
It's romantic down here in this basement.
It's a beautiful.
I mean the wonderful wooden
wonderful studio.
The wonderful studio.
The wonderful wooden studio with a giant banner posted behind us. So what we're gonna do is start this podcast off with a nice little segment we like to call Spin
That Wheel.
My little dancey. I try to do a different dance every time for Spin the Wheel. Sometimes a little bit of this. Today it was this.
Today was
the what? It was the Frankenstein.
If you guys were it's just like I'm gonna throw up because I'm so drunk that the only dance move I could do is a nice little shimmy with like the arms going back and forth
to keep yourself from falling over.
To keep myself from not dying. So on this little segment we like to call Spin That Wheel, we spin the wheel. It comes up with a different topic. We have all these preloaded cards, and whatever it lands on, that's what we have to talk about.
Yep. And we hope that it's still relevant.
It's still we write them, and then we're like, I
don't know. Throw that one out. Why don't you spin the wheel first?
I will spin that wheel.
While you spin, I'm going to talk about this nose hair that keeps tickling my nose.
Isn't that weird how why nose hairs exist? Is it to
It's to block out bacteria.
It's to block out.
It's to catch bacteria so it doesn't go straight towards your lungs.
Haters?
What do we land on? Music.
Did
I write this one or did you?
Music makes me lose control. I think I say that once a podcast.
Once a podcast, always a podcast.
I fucking hate you. Listening to happy versus sad music can affect the way you perceive the world and you.
Oh, I wrote this.
Around you.
Jesus
Christ.
Hitting the light back there.
So I find that to be so true. Like I've been there so many times as a troubled teenager.
Yeah.
Living in a hopeless
Speaking
world.
Speaking of Eminem, I mean, I feel like you
I cried to Eminem.
I used to cry. No.
I remember listening to Linkin Park and being like teenage.
I'm so numb.
I'm so numb.
I get it completely.
I get it.
That's why
I feel numb.
That's why I listened to hardcore for so long, because I was just an angry teenage ball of angst.
What's
and
that
wanting
Evanescence song?
Bring me to life.
Okay.
Wake me up. Wake me up. Yeah, that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That hit right here.
Yeah, that was good. That music video was dope. But no, I think it's funny because I wrote that card and I feel it to be true, because I remember going through, say, breakups or whatever it was, hard times for me, which aren't hard times in general. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Like, it was just stupid shit when I was a teenager.
Like
But when I
breakups and
breakups and like losses of friends or
Yeah.
whatever it may have been. And I remember like relying on Death Cab for Cutie.
yeah.
Because it's kind of like that emo acoustic music, and it just like it made me feel vast. I don't know.
Yeah.
It made me feel like they were saying what
They
I was
get me.
feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not to sound fucking cliche at all, but like I really felt like they were writing about like my life.
Yeah.
And it's so weird that like the different music you listen to really changes the way you see the world.
Yeah, and there's some songs where you just have that you remember that one moment listening to it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like I think me and you are very similar, and if you guys are watching, feel free to let us know. I think like driving and listening to
Yes.
music is probably the most therapeutic thing to like just
Oh,
have it
absolutely.
on almost close to max volume, if not,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just listening to a song reach into your soul and hug it. Like
Yeah,
it's like
absolutely,
there's so
yeah.
many there's so many songs where I can and even just powerful songs that don't even relate to me, like Bohemian Rhapsody or something like that, or like
Yeah,
a Queen
yeah,
song,
yeah.
and you put it on full volume,
And you're
like,
yelling.
you're into it, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
and you just feel so good at it. But and then there's some, and I've always felt like with hip hop, like just because I guess we're trending on a hip hop train,
Yeah.
like there's some songs that you can put at a party that are like the best songs to like party to and get drunk to and do whatever.
Whatever
Maybe
it
not
is.
that song, but like hip hop, not pop hip.
Pop hip.
Popped hips. But there's some songs that like
Just
speak
set the
to you.
tone.
It set the tone, and then it's like Kendrick Lamar, like To Pimp a Butterfly. I would not bump at a party, but if I want to listen to like an album,
I can't hop on that train.
yeah,
I
that's
hate
fine.
Kendrick
That's
Lamar.
fine. But like if I want to listen to something a little bit more introspective, I'm gonna listen to it on a drive and then be like, all right, I can like listen and take it in and like vibe out to it.
Yep.
And then, but there's always an environment for things. But driving to music, whether it's like angry music, super pissed off music, or sad music, or like joyous music, there's something about driving and listening to music. And I don't know if it's just because
I have
you're
two
using all your
instances,
senses?
or I have two like moments that I specifically remember. One
Yeah.
was what was that? Right Above It by Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Driving to that song, and I was younger. I was in the Jeep Wrangler, the 97 Jeep Wrangler, and I was driving around with I think a buddy Warren and John Halpin, if you remember him.
Yeah.
And I was driving around and I was smoking menthol cigarettes, and every time I hear that song, I go right back into that place.
Yeah.
Taking Back Sunday,
Yeah.
me and Eric Knapp used to go out for drives and just chain smoke butts, and we're yelling at Taking Back
Yeah.
Sunday. Like, I listen to that, like some of the albums.
What was
and I
the
go
song
right
we
back
used
in.
to Liar Takes One to Know One?
Yeah.
Where we freaking jam
We
out.
were playing out
play
on,
guitar and
Rock
you'd be
Band,
like,
Rock
yeah,
Band.
and you're like drumming and you were like outside of the window like one hand, and I'm like still trying to do like guitar solos, and there's something I don't know if it's because all your senses are going off when you're driving, because
Yep.
you're like
You're
looking,
aware.
you're listening, you're doing everything, and then putting music on top of it. It's almost like when you're working out and you need a playlist to amp yourself up.
Oh,
to,
absolutely.
Like, while
That's
working
why they play
out.
music at the gym. You need it. You need
like,
it.
And I think it's the same thing with driving, but driving is not as like physique conscious. You know what I mean?
Stimulating in a physique
No,
way.
well, I mean, like you're not working out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you're
yeah.
just driving. You're getting from one location to another. And I feel for us, one of the main things we did younger is if something upset us, we'd be in our car and gone.
Yep.
Like that
absolutely.
was our escape. Some people walk for 10 miles, which I've done too, and then there's some people that like close the room and they blast music because they're upset. But me and you had just this like
Close
need
connection.
to leave.
Yeah.
We need to leave. We need to like, and I can. It's
I
funny
can't do
'cause
that
I
anymore. I'm
picture
married.
I picture it in the Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah.
I picture it in my Blazer. I can't picture as much in our newer vehicles, but
No,
like those
absolutely
vehicles
not.
are just
Those vehicles are like
has
embedded
such
within
nostalgia.
us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. I remember driving down and we were listening, I think, to hip hop, and me throwing my foot out the window and knocking your rear view mirror off.
Side view
and
mirror.
Side view
Yeah.
mirror right off of its hinge because I was just cheesing the music and I stuck my leg out just to be funny, you know?
Yeah.
And it just fucking
I
came
think we were
off.
listening to Big Sean. Big Sean had just released his album. I forget which. album it was one of his first big debut deluxe albums or whatever.
Yep.
And I think it was Finally Famous, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
And we were playing that album, and it was so good because it was the ages of Mac Miller, Wiz Khalifa, Big Sean, and we were just so in the zone and tuned with this music that
absolutely.
like we just it was
Wasn't
just
a care in
such
the
a
world, dude.
nice drive, and we used to freestyle because that was something that just like the music would overplay, and you feel the rumblings of the bass, and you're like, oh, this feels so right and good to just like, I don't know, there's something about driving and listening to music. I know it was less about driving and more like your emotions being stimulated.
Yeah.
But I think the times I'm most stimulated emotionally listening to music is when I'm driving.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. All right, I think we beat that one down to the T. Which way am I going? I always forget. I'm down, right?
Yeah, you're down.
Dink. Dink it and sink it.
Dink it and sink it. You know what they say. Ooh, go to sports.
Sports.
You were just talking about how
I just said we've never hit sports. Yeah.
But now we're going to hit sports.
All right. Aaron Hernandez, next Netflix series called Killer Mind, The Life of Aaron Hernandez.
You might need to skip this one. I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it
Did you hear
either.
about it?
I heard about it. I heard about it from a girl at work.
Yeah.
Bailey, and she was telling me that it was really good, but the only thing, it was almost like they were catering to Aaron Hernandez being like
Gay?
Yeah, well, gay, but like almost dismissing the wrongdoings.
His
he
murders?
did.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing that bothers me sometimes about documentaries is they try to right the wrongs of people. So there's
write them off.
Like there's, but
I know they killed someone, but like they had a really traumatic past, and they were like pushing down like their homosexuality.
He's a murderer.
And stuff.
That's it. That's the end of
he
story.
Killed people.
You
yeah.
literally could have done this freaking documentary in 10 seconds. Said Aaron Hernandez, murderer, and then just run the credits. Justin Bergeron, director, producer, everything done. I got you. And then it would be
You could
the
have
most
your own
played
Netflix
thing.
series.
Yeah,
It'd
I
be
should
good.
have. You probably could. We watched. Was it the Fire Festival or whatever? There was a documentary.
I don't know.
I forget what it's
when
called.
I think of things that like swing one way harder than they should have is Making a Murderer.
Yeah.
Because there was like testimonies that they left out or little things that they left out, and the lawyers were like, hey, just letting you know, like this is the information you're missing, and they were like, no, we're gonna frame it one way. And I heard this series is pretty much
framed,
that to a T. It's framed to relieve Aaron Hernandez of all of his wrongdoings when he literally went out and murdered people.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
Aaron Hernandez, it's funny because they have memes of one guy that a lot of people didn't like, and they're like, Aaron Hernandez should have killed his dude while he was at it.
Jesus.
But I'm pretty sure when I was over at Boston Medical Center doing the job over there was a coroner right next to us.
Yep.
And I believe Aaron Hernandez was in there.
No way,
so
huh?
it was kind of a weird
That is weird.
thing. Like, and I remember, like, everyone was talking about it within the office and within the job site. And
Correct,
it was just, like, a weird in Boston.
I don't know. I guess for me, I can't really dismiss, like, the wrongdoings when you've killed people. For me, like, I get it.
Yeah,
you
there's
might have
a
had
certain point
There's a
where
certain
you're like,
point. If you were like, I want to put it lightly. I don't want to be like, well, if you beat your wife, I get it. You know what I mean? Nothing like
But
that.
I get it.
But it's like, if you have like smaller, I guess like misdemeanors, like Julian Edelman went out and was like setting fire to fucking Lamborghinis and shit like that, doing like getting your, not anger or like
you
your
are
angst
let into
out.
heaven.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I can totally dismiss that and be
Yeah.
like, all right, you're probably fucking pissed off because you're out of the playoffs. But in
Yeah.
terms of like, hey,
But
you had a bad.
that's kind of like you're kind
know.
of picking sides because if you're
I am
going,
picking
well,
sides.
technically he was pissed, so he was right in doing so. But this guy can't be
But it
traumatically
reaches a
like,
certain line.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like pushing that homophobia down and going out and like I haven't watched it yet, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
But like all these different reasons that
Yeah.
they try to swing it or frame it from a certain perspective to relieve him of the injustice that he did.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
yeah. The way a lot of documentaries are framed, I did like the documentary on what is his name? This is gonna be a long walk for a short drink of water, which is one of my favorite idioms that you taught me.
I always say it. I love
that. Zac Efron. Who
Yes.
did he play? Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy. Yep.
So he did that. It wasn't a documentary, but
I was
it was
gonna
a
say
movie
Jeffrey
about
Dahmer.
Ted,
I don't know why. Ted Bundy. Yeah, you're right.
Like he did it, and I like, even though they didn't like, they didn't really address his murdering like too much. It was more like behind the scenes and what his perspective is and how his home life was and his mentality and all that stuff. I still felt it was done right because you walked into it going, all right, this is not like you shouldn't walk away from this like ignoring the fact that he murdered people.
Correct.
While Aaron Hernandez, it seems like they're dismissing everyone just from all the reviews I'm hearing about. I haven't watched it. It was one of the things I wanted to watch, but
I didn't really want to get into it, especially after hearing about that it's framed a certain way. I think I'm kind of already have a certain bias, which I wanted to walk into it with no bias.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And kind of take it for what it is. But
especially being Patriots fans in New England,
we
I almost want to watch it.
We have a signed Aaron Hernandez poster.
Is it still there?
Yeah, it's in our basement right now. I try to see because after he died and he was like murdering people and stuff, I was like, I wonder how much this is worth. So Joanne and I looked it up and it was like $15.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I thought like the market would be like heated, crazy, like $1,000. Oh, you could pay off your wedding with that. You know what I mean? Something like that. Yeah. But no, it wasn't worth that much.
There's some documentaries I just can't. It just bothers. There was one. It was with I think it's the Fire Festival, with a Y, and it's fuck is his name? Ja Rule.
Is the Y on the fire or the festival?
It's on the Y on the I. What the fuck? So it was like
picking your brain a little bit.
It was Ja Rule had this festival that was like all the people that were camping out and giving like almost like prison food, like because they like tried to plan this perfect festival. They got like Bella Hadid and all these people to promote Kylie Jenner, all these people to like say this is the next festival. We're renting out an island, all this stuff.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden it got like stupid like storms and everything, and all the tents were actually like refugee camps, like S tents.
Jesus.
And then the food was like
Hoovervilles on a shitty island with bad weather. That's what it sounds like.
It was so bad, and all these bands and artists were pulling out, and then like it got ultimately canceled, and then all these it was almost like them pitching to Instagram and rich kids and rich freaking frat boys come to this festival, spend $2-3 grand, come see this festival. All these big people are going to be here. You're going to have the time of your life.
Yeah.
Not realizing that if you like create a camp for someone, a bunch of people, it takes up space, and the island is only so big. And then this island fell through, and they're giving this whole synopsis of why it failed, and not to blame like the owner and the major people in it. And I'm
really?
like, but then you find out afterwards that those are the people that paid for the documentary to frame it, to make them like kind of get off the what was I gonna say? Like just get away, not get away with it, but like not have as much outreach towards these people.
Correct.
So it's like
not taking the fault.
Yeah,
almost,
they frame it so like these guys aren't the bad guys.
Oh, weird. But so they're the ones that did it.
They're the ones who did it and stole all this money. So this dude's going to jail, but he's like making like lighthearted jokes like near the end of the documentary. I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm like, you almost have to understand. It's so crazy how many things are framed to manipulate you. And then
absolutely.
You almost have to be critical of everything you look into. But
you have to be.
But if you're critical about everything you look into,
you're going to drive yourself crazy.
You drive yourself crazy, and then you don't enjoy anything.
Yeah, I guess so. That's why I don't watch the news and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Different things are framed certain ways, and it may not be like the true story. It's just it's a matter of perspective and how you look at things. You know, I try to be as critical as I can be with still enjoying myself. Yeah. But like I'll watch like a TV series and I'm like, oh, they did this wrong. Why is this happening? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I kind of hate myself for it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I enjoy things. My life isn't black and white. Why don't you spin that wheel one more time, boy?
I will spin that wheel, boy.
You like hit your
I'm like
right into the table. Lucky that table's there. You would have uppercutted me.
I'm trying to uppercut you.
Sports again. Boy. The topic we don't know anything about.
Tom Brady's retirement plan.
Hey, we were just talking about this before the podcast.
He's
Tom Brady's retirement plan. I don't know what you've heard. I mean, we talked a little bit about it before. So Tom Brady is going to be a free agent in March.
Okay.
He signed a 1 or 2 year contract saying, hey, I can opt out at any time I want, but you're going to pay me the salary, and then I want to be a free agent.
Yeah.
In March, I'll decide what I want to do there.
Yeah.
But there's so many people that are on the fence, and I think this is like the biggest trending thing in sports right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Besides the Super Bowl, obviously, is where's Tom Brady going to go?
Yeah.
And there's either there's not just two answers, but there's two sides. There's one side that he's going to stay in New England, and everyone who lives in New England wants him to stay. Everyone that's a Patriots fan, all the Pats fans want him to stay. We want Tom Brady to stay 1 or 2 more years. We want him to win another Super Bowl.
Yeah,
we
don't
want him to
leave on a pick
rings.
6 or whatever.
Huh?
Don't leave on a pick.
Don't leave on a pick 6.
Yeah.
Don't leave your favorite or your team for 20 years, your dynasty, on a pick 6, and with us not having you. We want him to stay here. You know what I mean? Tom Brady is a phenomenal quarterback, and there's no doubt in my mind why he shouldn't have 6, even 7 rings with us after a while. The other side to this is that Tom Brady, I thought you were pulling out the flaming leprechaun.
I was like, take another shot, boy.
The other side to this is that is he going to leave because there are so many quarterbacks that have started their dynasty and they end on a different team. Peyton Manning is a perfect example. Peyton Manning played with the Colts for years, and then he signed over to the Broncos. He got his final Super Bowl win with that franchise, and then he retired.
Yeah.
People are thinking it's going to be the same exact thing for Tom Brady. I know there's way more. Like, there's so many people that have done that. But I'm just going to give Peyton right now for an example. But yeah, so it's either going to go one of two ways. And I think the 2 top teams right now that people are talking about is the Oakland Raiders because apparently it was either he went to California or at the fight. The
McGregor fight.
Yeah, the McGregor
Cowboy,
fight.
40 seconds of my life.
Yes. So there was talk about that, him going to California, playing for the Oakland Raiders. I just before, that's why we were talking about it, I got a Yahoo Sports notification, whatever, and they were saying they are predicting that he's going to be going to the Chargers. Okay. We have no idea, though. Honestly, like, it's one thing or the other. Like, either he stays or he goes. Would I like him to stay? Yes. If he goes, is he probably going to fucking illuminate himself with another team? Probably. Yeah. There's a lot of good other teams that have great wide receivers, great tight ends, great running backs.
There's so many
that just need a quarterback and someone that knows the game better than anyone else.
And Brady would shine if he had the team that some of these other quarterbacks are just like.
Oh, absolutely. If he had a team like, I know it wouldn't work phenomenally, but I think like if he had a team like Kansas City Chiefs, I know Patrick Mahomes is outshining everyone right now, and he looks fucking wonderful right now.
Or maybe like the 49ers or something like that, like.
Yeah, you have A.J. Brown, you have the other tight end that Humphreys that they keep saying is phenomenal, but like the Kansas City Chiefs, if you had Tyreek Hill, if you had Travis Kelce, if you had a great running back,
I know.
Like,
Kelce, you know who Kelce reminds me of? He reminds me of Gronk. Yeah. Like,
well, he's the second top best tight end, and after that is the tight end for the 49ers.
Yeah.
George Kittles, I believe his name is. But yeah, so I think Tom Brady, we'd be stupid if we lost him. Oh, another thing I wanted to say is that he's only been the top paid quarterback in his 20 years for 2 years.
Which is crazy.
With 6 Super Bowl rings. You know what I mean? He keeps taking pay cuts and pay cuts and pay cuts. Him and Belichick don't get along. I think Belichick wants him out, but I think fucking Robert Kraft wants him in, but he's out getting fucking tuggies by hookers. So I don't know if he gets a say or not. But yeah, so that's my little spiel about Tom Brady's retirement plan. We will see in the future. I'm assuming we'll see probably somewhere in the summer what's really going to happen.
I'm a Pats hater, a Pats lover, and a Pats critic.
A critic. A critic is a good word for you.
Not Pats hater, Pats critic, because I get so pissed at Brady. I get so pissed at the Pats, and I don't want to see him go, but I want to see us evolve. Like, we got rid of the successors to Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Yeah, the only person still standing is Edelman in terms of people he can pass to.
Once Belichick's gone eventually, and Brady's gone eventually, and Edelman's gone eventually.
What's happening?
Who are the Patriots? There's not much. There's not much left.
We're starting new.
We're gonna be. We literally went through our cycle. You know what I mean?
I think that people that are playing with Tom Brady and the Patriots, they want to stay because it's Tom Brady and the Patriots. You know what I mean? Like your O-line, you have a lot of people that have been there for a long time and they don't want to leave. They just don't want to do it. You know? But yeah, so that's my rant.
I'm gonna switch back over here.
We didn't have the intro. I don't like it.
Oh, do you want it? Yeah, we'll do a little.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Rhythm.
Ooh. This is Delilah.
I just like popped off, spin that wheel. I was like, we got a lot to go over.
Yeah, no, I feel you. you have a segment, right?
Yeah, we got a nice little segment. I got it's a segment, but it's a double feature. A
double feature
film.
segment.
Oh, okay.
What?
I want to switch to why is this trending on Twitter,
but
I think I have it up. Close your eyes for a second.
All right.
Close your eyes.
I'm closing.
Why is this trending
Nope,
you're
on
good.
Twitter?
That's going to be the theme song.
Love that, dude. Love it.
So, why is this trending on Twitter? Philadelphia Flyers.
The Philly Flyers.
Yeah.
Well, I think I know why it's trending. It's going to be about their mascot.
No.
Their disgusting-looking mascot. Something he did. Hey, there we go. There's my boy, Gritty. Yes,
Gritty
I was going
is
to
such
say
a
Grizzy,
gross
but
name.
Gritty. Yeah.
Gritty. Oh, well, you already solved this. So Gritty.
That was the first why is this trending on Twitter that I got.
So the mascot Gritty physically assaulted a teen boy during photo shoot. 13 years old, the little boy was in November 2019. Gritty punched this dad, Chris Greenwell. Posted on Facebook about how his son got punched.
Okay.
And the dad they tried to bribe him.
No
So they
way.
went. So
how much? Do you know? Do you know how much?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Sorry,
Wells Fargo Center refused to show the video of what happened because they didn't want it leaked or whatever they didn't. They didn't want to show the video to anyone.
Yeah.
And they tried to drop the whole case by giving season tickets to the guy.
Come see me where your son got
and
punched.
all you can drink at one bar.
No way.
And then what Chris Greenwell discontinued his season tickets after 23 years. So they're still investigating and figuring it out.
Oh,
wow.
I would be fucking pissed, dude. That little Grizzo looking at. Look at how gross he is, dude.
What's up, boy?
I remember because
dude, look.
That's where he punched him when he was.
He's like,
no, but I
take a
remember
photo.
one of my buddies, Johnny, is actually a Philadelphia Flyers fan, and when they came out with that mascot, he was fucking like, "This is awesome. I love it," because he's such a gross mascot that you almost can't not support him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's, I don't know. I would rather get punched by a different mascot.
Like who?
I don't know. I don't know the mascots actually, but the leprechaun for the Celtics or whatever. I don't know.
Is it a leprechaun for the Celtics?
I don't know.
This is how much we know about sports.
I would like to get punched by
a leprechaun.
I would like to get punched by a respectable
a respectable one, not one that they just threw the fucking I don't know what's that purple looking nugget. Grimace. Yeah, it looks like the orange version of Grimace.
Grimace. Oh my God, this is Grimace right here.
Grimace. Yeah, right. It's like Grimace with hair.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
With a beard.
With a beard.
Look at this face. Oh, it's a helmet. I thought it was like a walnut on his head or something.
Do you have another trending on Twitter?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
Which you might not know. So I will play this back.
Why is this trending on Twitter?
That's going to be the theme song.
I hope.
So why is this trending on Twitter?
Okay.
Planters.
I want to be 2 for 2. Planters. Planters warts.
Okay.
People are mad.
Yep.
Because they have planters warts, and when they go to a doctor, that's for those of you that don't know, planters warts are like warts on your feet. And the medication that got prescribed to them made their foot worse.
So you're saying there's so many people with planters warts, and in addition to that, so many people that are going to the doctors getting prescribed the same medication are having the same reaction so much that tens of thousands of people are tweeting about it.
Yes.
Close.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, man, I thought it was going to be 2 for 2.
It's about Planters Peanuts. What we're going to do is play a little segment. You guys out there won't be able to hear it because we're not trying to get hit with copyright strikes, but it's a nice little video, and I'll tell you about it once you see it. So this is what's trending right now. So it's a nice little commercial. It's Wesley Snipes right there.
Must have been
it's Armadillo. Do you know this guy?
No.
The Planters.
Yeah,
Mr.
I know the
Peanut?
Planters Peanuts guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aww. What? They gave him a rip too? Are they gonna have a new mascot?
He's dead.
No way. Did it say
20.
16 to 20?
No, 1916 to 2020.
I was gonna say he's been around.
Yeah.
I remember Grandpa eating Planters peanuts, and we were,
So Planters, who is Kraft Heinz, which I didn't know. I guess that must be Kraft and Heinz, but like I didn't know they were both.
I didn't know that either. Yeah.
But Planters is killing off the iconic Mr. Peanut ahead of the Super Bowl.
Aww.
So he was introduced in 1916.
Yep.
He just died via that commercial with Wesley
commercial.
Snipes and some other guy that I don't know. Wesley Snipes, I don't know if you know him. He was in Blade. He was in White Men Can't Jump. He's a big name. Mr. Peanut is 104 years old.
104-year-old Peanut.
Do you know what that vehicle is called?
The Peanut Mobile.
Close. The Nut Mobile.
Oh, yo, let's go. I'm on fire tonight. Technically, I said it because I said Peanut Mobile.
Yeah, you were just saying P and then Nut Mobile.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just saying the alphabet. So the Super Bowl, so this is ahead of the Super Bowl. It just came out today.
Yep.
And on the Super Bowl, they have, so this is going to be played during the pregame show. The Super Bowl is not this weekend, it's the following weekend, just for anyone watching us after the fact. And during the Super Bowl, they will have a follow-up commercial of everyone mourning Mr. Peanut's death.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So during the Super Bowl, that's going to air?
During the pregame show, that specific commercial
I wonder if they're
going
to say a new mascot for
I think that's what they're gonna
the
try
Super
to
Bowl.
do
Like
is,
it's like pre and
and
try
rebrand everything and not have a guy with a top hat and a monocle anymore.
That's one of my favorite. Mr. Peanut's one of like my favorite. He is a classic.
He's 104 years old.
104
He's
years
older
old
than our grandparents.
Literally. Damn, bro.
So Twitter. So he's at Mr. Peanut if you want to go follow him.
He's dead, but you can still follow him.
His name on Twitter has changed to
Rip. What is it?
The estate of Mr. Peanut.
The estate.
Yeah, because it's no longer Mr. Peanut. It's now owned by the estate of Mr. Peanut. And there are many brands mourning Mr. Peanut's death. Oscar Mayer Wieners is mourning, which is perfect because they also have a food-shaped vehicle. Pop-Tarts retweeted it and said, "Hey, are you okay?" To which the estate of Mr. Peanut says, "No, he's dead." The Cheerios Bee is in mourning. Chips Ahoy is in mourning. The Nesquik Bunny.
Oh, the Nesquik Bunny. Why you got to do him like that?
Who's probably next on the chopping block. And Klondike is mourning. They're all mourning.
They're all mourning.
I don't know.
It's funny how people do that. It reminds me of like Wendy's, like the savage tweets on like Twitter that Wendy's would do. Like people get into their their companies like so hard and they're like, we got to make this an actual character.
The marketing is so genius now to see like marketing shift into like
absolutely.
Like, just loving the meme culture and just growing on it and adapting and indulging, and then instead of just being like a freaking commercial, like it's like, all right, let's make this a person, let's make this like a
you gotta think back in the
9 like
let's make
it like a big person. Like Wendy's was making Mario Maker levels, they were making diss albums, they were like bashing anyone that
Burger King made video games. You know what I mean? Like
crazy.
the Sneak King, bro. Yeah, no, there's so many like good things. You got to think about it. I don't know if you've ever seen Mad Men. If you haven't, you need to watch it. Yeah. It's like advertising genius, like and wonder. I don't. It's just one of my favorite series. That's definitely telling you guys too to go watch it. But so like back in the day, they used to have like portfolios, and all it was like say like billboards or posters, and they used to make them, and it was like, oh, we need like the Volkswagen. I don't know if you ever seen that old advertisement, and it just says lemon. And, like, it was one of the most popular ones, you know what I mean? And then you get to, like, now when it was just, like, something random like a Volkswagen, it just said lemon, you know what I mean? To now where we're creating characters with feelings and stuff like that. It's kind of genius. Yeah, I think you're right.
It is kind of genius because before it was just, like, inserting themselves places, and now it's still inserting, but it's like, let's build something around them.
You're world building around the character. You're world building around the company. These people, like, have personality traits now, which is
I think you know what's the
yeah.
grossest mascot for, like, I guess mascot is a running theme, but the grossest mascot for, like, a food or, like,
the Tricks kid.
Product.
The leprechaun dude?
No,
Dude's definitely a pedophile.
That's not the
Oh, no,
Trix
no,
is
no.
a
Trix
bunny.
is the bunny. Sorry, I'm thinking of Lucky Charms. That dude's a pedophile and a half, bro.
No, the 7-Up guy. There's just like the 7-Up logo with arms and legs. And
Oh,
and there's
yeah.
Pepsi Man. They all have video games, and I don't know
Do
why.
they really?
Yeah, there's a Pepsi Man game. A lot of people like to speed run it, and it's so gross. It's just like a silver bionic character that has a Pepsi logo, and he runs like it's almost
Is it like a side scroller, but you're jumping and going different places?
Like
that's what I would imagine.
It's kind of like that, but it's like Temple Run for the Super Nintendo.
Gross.
Like it's gross. it's not something I would recommend.
Yeah.
Unless you're speed running. A lot of people speed running. Speed running is really funny like to watch because there's like games that people like Mario. People can beat the whole game in under 5 minutes, and like they keep cranking to get like half a frame to like do this, and they have these frame perfect jumps and everything. And then there's this subculture of speedrunning games that are gross. One of the biggest speedrunning games is SpongeBob Bikini Bottom for like the PlayStation 2 or whatever.
It was PlayStation, and I think it was on Game Boy, the GBA as well, the Game Boy Advance.
People play
I had it.
and they try to speed run it, and they've learned how to like glitch and like do all these crazy jumps.
So
people
gross.
play that game because not only because it's very precise with the frame perfect jumps,
but
it's such a gross game to like talk about speed running. I've seen people speed run like Jaws for the NES.
Turok, fucking weird.
Gross games outside of like they speed run like Ocarina of Time, which is like a great game to speed run. But
absolutely.
There's so many other games that they speed run.
Such a good
game. For it's almost like the meme culture of speed running.
Yeah, literally, right? The meme culture. I think we talk about meme culture every episode.
Meme culture is prevalent.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Pretty soon, I don't know what's the next meme like. There's going to be a word that means meme, or like the next generation of memes that we're not going to know until 10 years from now. We're like, oh.
I think the next generation, it's like memes and then TikToks. And I think we see a trend. They're going to be peepees. They're going to be the peepees, the memes and the peepees.
The memes and the peepees. Do you have something to talk about?
Yeah, sure. I don't mind. I can either do a topic or I can do
mean,
not a clue.
Mind? No, we'll save not a clue.
I don't. What?
We'll save not a clue.
You want to say not?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
We'll
save not a clue.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I have something that I learned a very long time ago, and you might know it, but it's one of my favorite Vsauce videos, and it's an informational one about where does fear stem from. So I want to ask you if you have you seen that one before? Fear.
I think I've seen them all.
You've seen them all, but
I can't remember.
Can you pinpoint? Do you think
so you're gonna do phobias and now you're gonna do fears?
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
Fears and phobias. Yeah, but it's different. It's different. So I'm gonna ask you, where do you believe fear stems from? Do you have a certain location in the brain or a certain thing? The frontal, the partial lobal, the hippocampus, the hippocampus,
the hippopotamus.
No. Like, where do you think fear stems from? Like, where does it come from?
I feel like we just talked about this. It's either like a...
No, this is different. Phobias are long-term things of fears. Like, you can have a phobia of bees and a fear of spiders. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can be afraid of something but not have a phobia to it.
What's a phobia? An extreme fear?
An extreme fear that, like, it just totally puts you out of your element and creates, I guess... anxiety, but fears create anxiety too. But like a phobia is an extreme fear. So I'm talking about fear.
Must be just like something where like instinctual.
Instinctual.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. It's not the right one, but it's a good one. Fear stems from ambiguity.
Oh yeah, I saw this. Like the not knowing.
The fear of not knowing.
Yeah.
So basically, and this is one of like the topics that I always like when I think of Vsauce, I think of this because it was one of my favorite videos. Because knowing me, I'm afraid of you're throwing the water bottle now. Knowing me, I'm afraid of like scary movies and stuff like that. I'm a total baby when it comes to scary movies, and I always wonder why. But the reason is because you don't know. So say there's a figure in the background with a face, you know what I mean? But you can't see the face. Yeah. You not knowing and not being able to connect on a human level with that figure makes it scary.
Yeah, I remember seeing this episode. It's the fact that you can't you can't connect.
You can't connect and you can't predict what's going to happen.
That's why there's that bell curve, or not bell curve, but it's like a curve that says you have an animal and you have a humanoid animal and then you have a human.
Yeah.
And as it starts to trend into the humanoid, you can't relate to it anymore, so it just looks creepy and scary, almost like animatronic like characters.
Yep.
Or like in that general direction. And then when it starts becoming more human, then you can connect to it.
Talking about
so
like Chuck E. Cheese characters?
Yeah. And then it starts, and then like once it starts becoming beyond that threshold, then it's relatable because it's human. So that's why Polar Express, the characters on it look so creepy and unrelatable, and you can't connect to them because they're close to human, but they're just still on that humanoid like line.
Exactly. I never thought about that, how creepy those children were. Oh, absolutely. So the great analogy that he uses, besides for scary movies and things we're afraid of in general, I don't know if you remember, if it was the cliff analogy. So you and your friend are on the side of a cliff, and you have a pit in your stomach because you don't know what's going to happen. Like, say they push you.
Yeah.
There's a possibility, a very low one, that your friend would push you off of a cliff, but you don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't even know if you would jump off that cliff personally.
Yeah.
Because you could, for whatever fucking reason.
Yeah.
So it gives you a pit in your stomach because you're fearful of an action that might take place or an event that would happen that you're unfamiliar with.
So is that instinctual?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like survival, like you're like uncertain about something, so like you like tense up and you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said you were close. No, I'm just kidding. Is there anything you're afraid of because of the ambiguity behind it?
You know what freaks me out? Like, I don't know if you've ever been like sleep deprived and like you're walking outside, like you haven't slept or you're really tired and you're driving, or like you're at home and you're just smoking a butt outside or whatever.
Sure.
And you see a shadowy figure in the distance and it freaks you out, and then like you're like, what the fuck? And then you turn back around and then it's not there anymore.
I think you're the quietest I have ever heard you in my entire life.
Because I see a shadowy figure behind you. But like imagine like when you see like a figure that's there and then not there anymore, or it's there and you're trying to like it's almost like when you're at the
you're trying
like
to
the eye
put
doctor and like they're telling you to like focus and not focus, and then like you're trying to see it and it looks like an F but it looks like an E, but it could also be an O at the same point. And then you're looking, you're like, that could be tree branches, that could be a person, that could be a murderer, that could be a stalker, and then you keep going down like the wrong path, and you're like,
exactly.
You're like, no, there's just the branches forming together.
Yeah.
And then the worst part is when you turn away and you try to look back to find exactly how you saw it, and
but
can't
you
see
can't
it anymore.
because it was never there in the first place.
I think that's a phobia or a fear.
A fear. You know, it's funny you were saying it, and I remember 2 instances when I was younger that like my chair, like, so I have the office desk and then I have like the chair, and I always remember putting like sweatshirts or jackets. I'm notorious for it, just putting things on, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember just sitting in bed and I'm like, that's my sweatshirt. That's my sweatshirt. Oh, that's Slender Man in the fucking corner with a goddamn knife waiting to kill me.
Yeah.
And then I also remember when I was very younger, when we were living in Canada, because I used to have nightmares until I was like 18 or something like that, you know, or I still get nightmares sometimes, and it's hard for me. And I remember being very young and going into mom and dad's bed and then seeing their face. You know what I mean? Like they're sleeping, but like I'm looking at their face, and somehow it transformed from like mom to exorcist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You start
It's
trying
like,
to like figure out the facial
Rugrats.
features. Yes, exactly. Like I'm not Stu, and the facial figures start reconfiguring themselves to be, you know, something else that it's not. And I think that's one of my fears too. I have that same feeling.
And your brain does that. It does that intentionally, and I think it's to scare you. To prepare for survival.
To prepare for the worst. Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think one thing I want to dive into it deeper on a future episode, because it's something that's always intrigued me, is the creepiest thing. And you can actually see it online, and it's where it's like it's where it randomly simulates fake faces online, and they're all not
it's like
real.
this person isn't real.com or something like that. Yeah, I think I've seen that.
And you can like refresh it and it's or click through it or whatever, and it's always a person that's created by like a computer or something like that with a real background, real everything, but the person is not real. And one thing I learned a while ago that's the creepiest thing is when you're dreaming, your brain cannot make things up.
Yes, everything comes from something you've seen before.
Ever.
Yep.
So, like, if you have a murderer in your dream and you don't recognize the face, it might have been the pizza delivery guy from 20 years ago that you're repurposing his face.
Or you're repurposing 3 people's faces to be one, right?
No,
it can't.
You can't
it has
create
to be a
unique
certain
faces
figure.
in what's one face.
No
so
way,
like
huh?
it could be people you bumped into at your college, at the supermarket, whatever.
No way.
Because your brain retains all this information.
Yep.
But your brain cannot form faces.
Yep.
So so all of a sudden you're having a dream, and then if you're getting chased by a murderer or chased by someone,
they take their mask off.
It's a person. No,
Dad?
not even a mask. Like,
Dad?
you're just chased by someone, or all the people in your dream
Yep.
are people you've ran into or
You
seen
have
before.
seen
Whether
before.
it's a movie, TV
Yep.
show, supermarket, anything.
You've made out their face before. You made out their
Yeah.
proportions, whatever it may be.
And they don't have to be memorable. Your brain just retains so much
That's
information.
insane.
Yeah,
We need to have. I feel like we need to have a whole segment on the brain.
There's
I'm
so
not
many
talking about
things-
my scrotum and soy
like-
sauce. I'm talking about the human brain. you
Yeah,
know?
I know one thing I want to get into in the future, so stay tuned. Is there's deja vu and then there's jamais vu, which deja vu means already seen and jamais vu means never seen.
Yeah.
And it's when you're reading text and a word becomes unfamiliar even though you know the word. You know when you see a word over and over and you're like,
yeah,
oh,
you're
did I
like,
spell that
spoon,
right?
spoon,
Yeah.
spoon, and then
That's called jamais vu because it's something that you knew and now you don't know it.
Oh, weird.
So just like deja vu is
hold it for later, huh?
just like deja vu where you're like oh, I feel like this has happened before.
Yeah.
It's when something recognizable becomes unrecognizable.
I've never
Your
heard of that
brain
term.
always plays like these crazy games.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I'm always fascinated. I think it's a mutual fascination that we both have, but like never delve into because
Never did anything
like
with.
we're not like passionate about it because when you start going into psychology, there's
no jobs available for you
Yeah.
until you get your doctorate.
Ouch.
Is that what you're gonna say?
No, there's just so much you can get into that you're just like, I don't even know what to look for because a lot of this doesn't interest me.
Yeah, no, I get
So
that.
then all of a sudden you're like deep in it, you're like, fuck this. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to like learn about psychology anymore. But
I
then you
think-
get these little nuggets and you're like, oh, that's
Oh,
if
yeah.
I could have a whole
social
course
experiments
of nuggets,
and things
yeah.
like that have
like
to do with the brain.
prison
Stanford
experiments.
experiment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's perfect.
So
Yeah, something we're gonna get into later.
eventually.
If anyone still is here, I think. Are you ready to close out?
Yeah, let's close out,
Yeah.
boy.
If anyone is still here, we had said it on break. We're going to say it again. If you do like the podcast on
And
Facebook,
what we do, yeah.
or if you enjoy what we do, Torn Between Two Brothers, we're gonna keep going. We're coming up on the 10 mark, which we were talking about.
I know.
But if you like us on Facebook, make sure you go to the YouTube and subscribe. Make sure you go to the Apple Music podcast,
wherever you listen to
it.
us, Spotify, go follow us. Apple Podcasts, go subscribe. Facebook, like this. YouTube, subscribe. Click down below.
Yep.
Every little click helps.
The more you guys enjoy it and the more you guys help us out is the more stuff we're going to get done for this podcast and hopefully increase its longevity. I think that's
we want
to
to evolve it. We want to get bigger, different guests.
Yep.
There's so much things that we want to do and develop
So many
that
things.
will probably
Sorry.
naturally do it.
Yeah.
But it's seeing your support just helps motivate us that much more.
Absolutely.
And I know eventually we want to shift to YouTube and really make the big move to YouTube. But if you guys want to see us on Facebook, keep us here. Feel free to hit that follow. Tell your friends. Listen to the episodes. Every little thing counts because we love doing this and we love seeing the comments and we love seeing people interact and tell us how they feel and their opinions on things and there's actually some topics that people have been mentioning to us outside of the podcast. It's like, oh, you should talk about this.
Absolutely.
That we've been incorporating and we love your suggestions,
your feedback and your
feedback.
suggestions. Absolutely.
So without further ado, we'll sign off. We'll be back in a week. We're here Wednesdays,
every Wednesday,
7:30 every week.
Yep.
Unless something changes because of a guest, but as of right now, we're going to be 7:30 every week for the rest of our lives.
So without further ado, bye.
Good night. Good night.
Don't make